Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17 back again for another Commentaries 2 commentary. This time I am playing as the Commander West because I have not done so in some time. Also on my team is another OKW player, Ryan, my ally, close friend, and awesome player. Also two Vermont players, Naka Versus and BBV. On the enemy team we have three Soviets and American, that is Anglo, Waku, Hitman, and Hitwoman, sorry, and CHN Lee Petrovic. Interesting names all around, pronounceable names, and we're doing a 4v4 on Faceoff at Rostov. Now, this is actually one of my favorite maps, at least out of the big 4v4. I know people don't like it because of this river area, and it's like, oh, just blow it up. Well, yeah, I do find that kind of annoying, but I've been on that side, and I've used that to my advantage. But, you can also do it on this side as well. So it's not as concentrated, but people forget you can easily run across the island and ice and then go into enemy territory on this side. So there's that. In any case, so as you can see, I am of course the OKW. I'm sending Stern Pioneers to the north. I have my pretty much my Kuba wagon, along with my half track moving up. Now I'm gonna go actually. I believe I'm gonna go, let's see, I think Breakthrough Doctrine is what I chose. Yep, that is correct. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to have a more heavier piece of armor, because Knock out a Tiger, don't get me wrong, but Breakthrough I wanted to make sure that I could at least hold them back, and if we did, in case we lost everything, that we could try to counter with a large assault. This artillery barrage does a lot of damage and does an excellent job of like being able to push up. So anyway, if we look at pretty much Fog of War, we can see that they have already capturing the island. They're pushing pretty hard, and they're entering the city now. They're crossing the river and taking their fuel. While myself, I am here, I'm capturing this point, and then I'm going to be heading up north very shortly. I also got some Volksgrenadiers to move up, just going to send my half-track up in the location. Now, if we look at my ally, let's look at here. Anglo's red, Wako's purple, Hitman's orange, CHN's brown, Naka's yellow, GTA Ryan's light blue, I'm dark blue, and BBV is green. So BBV did a really cool thing where he brought his MG on one way, attacked through another, so they sent all their forces one way. They're too far, and there's no way they can outflank this MG, so he's able to then easily move up and take them out. Really cool strategy. Really interesting strategy. Now the riflemen are trying to go around, but again, he has mortar support and all sorts of units coming up, so they're going to have a very hard time. Now as you can see here, they are pretty much Wako's Waku. I would say Aku, but so Waku is attacking here. He's pretty much what he's trying to do is, of course, to capture that point. Again, that's the secondary. That's why he just has some comm engineers. You can see that they pretty much went the secondary. Instead of going for like MGs, they went for like scout cars and all those types of units. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this heavy type of barrier down. That way I won't be flanked. That's again, Ryan like showed that, and it's like, oh yeah, that's something I need to do. I think he either lost his mortar or had to retreat it. Yeah, there's another MG. You can see my forces here. Unfortunately, my Volksgrenadiers, they can be equipped with an MG. I'm not MG, a Panzerschreck. However, unfortunately, I didn't have enough munitions, so I had to retreat. So at this case, I'm over here, so I'm like, okay, what can I do? Place some mines on this side. That way it can annoy them and they can't attack me. They also blew up my Kerbal wagon. Those bastards. But anyway, so unfortunately my little advance kind of got cut short. Now, nice thing is I do have an AT unit coming up, and as soon as I heal these guys, which I'll heal through this battle group headquarters I'm making, I'll be able to push back up. Now, as you see here, Ryan is actually pushing pretty well. I think he should be trying to heal his Kerbal wagon, but I mean, at least he's pushing up. The yellow guy, who was yellow? Oh boy. This was Naka. Is doing okay. He's not as concentrated. It looks like the red player, however, Anglo Empire, seems to be putting up like a nice little defensive. He knows he can't really push, so he's waiting for the enemy to come and put up this nice little sandbag defense. Interesting. So anyway, over here, You can see they're pushing up with penal troops. I'm over here. Again, I put mines in different locations. Wow, really? They threw a grenade on it, I guess, because they spotted it. But yeah, that's interesting. So I have my guys here decapping in the meantime. Well, that's a big place where vehicles can't come through. At least they don't know about that one. I have to retreat that. Luckily, I have more AT, a Kerbal Wagon, and Stern Pioneers moving up. Not Stern Pioneers, Volksgrenadiers. Unfortunately, Hitwoman and Waku are doing a great job at combining their forces. They're doing MG and Scout Car. So unfortunately, GTA and pretty much... Oh, I'm sorry. Who is this? Naka are having extremely hard time. Now, my AT is keeping their Scout Car back. Kerbal Wagon's suppressing their forces. And my Volksgrenadiers are capturing. I'm also moving up a Stern Officer. That way it tells them to fight harder. So that's what I'm pretty much trying to do. As you can see here, Waku is putting mines. Because again, he does not want the enemy to pretty much flank him. He also has a Scout Car with a flamethrower, a very devastating pretty much combination that's been used since the beginning of Company of Heroes 2. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Riflemen are moving up. The Kerbal Wagon is having a tough time pinning them. Luckily, I have a Stern Pioneer squad moving up, and what I'm going to do is, since I have extra munition points, I'll probably do the Force Retreat, which is an amazing ability, because again, it forces a retreat on the enemy. Yep, there it goes. Unfortunately, one grenade knocks that off, which I have no idea why. But with that, he has one Rifleman squad, which will be easily pinned, and yeah, he's going to have to retreat. Over here, unfortunately, this Scout Car is just owning. However, there's enough firepower and bullets hitting it that they're able to take it out. Now, I believe that's, yeah, Waku is playing up this nice little defensive with his MG. Pretty much making sure and keeping this area down. I mean, they pretty much mined up this area, and now they have this area pretty much under wraps. So they have a good defensive line overall. And they can't charge him directly. So, yeah, they're putting mines up. They're pretty defensive, and they're doing a really good job at least holding their lines. And again, they're resupplying and putting down points. So if we look at resources, yeah, they have more resources coming in than we do. Well, now we have a little more, but I mean, overall, still. But luckily, we can decommission points. If we look here to see what everyone went, Naka went the Spearhead Doctrine, Great Half-Track Mortar, Tiger Tank, Fragmentation Bombs, Recon, Smoke. GTA went the Scavenger Doctrine. It gives you more fuel and munitions, along with Jaeger Light Recon, which are great, and Flak Panzer. Howitzer Barrage is always very nice. I went a Breakthrough, again, Artillery Cell, Panzerwerfer's Long Range, and Circlemate Doctrine. This is a new doctrine that came out. This was by BBV. Pretty much, it has this close the pocket ability, which I'm not sure of, but it does break supply lines and stormtroopers, which can cut off the enemies like supplies, which is very nice. You can drop it, decaps a point as long as there's no fuel cap. If there's a fuel cap, you won't be able to decap it. The enemy team went this Tank Hunter, which is not good because, you know, it specialized killing tanks. Counterattacks, which again, I usually do. It has KV-1s, which are really nice armor, and artillery. If we look here, Soviet Combined Arms, which again, more artillery and bombing strikes. And then the Infantry Company, which has the dreaded Priest, which I hate, the half-track mortars, and artillery. So anyway, what Ryan's doing is bringing out these, like, pretty much light Jaeger units and attacking from behind. That way he can knock out the MG and they can start to move up. And because this thing is so weak, these Jaeger troops will pretty much just take them out. If we look here on my side, I'm just trying to hold, and I was able to push up a little bit more. Yeah, they left some of their extra machine guns over there, which I might borrow. But I'm using these Panzerwerfers, which have these long-range rifles. But again, I could have equipped them with these better rifles, which are pretty much long-range, similar to the Jaeger Light Infantry that he's using. They pretty much snipe enemies if they have less than like 75% health or so. The problem is they're saying it's shock troops, which I believe is Waku, which is, yeah, counterattacks. So he's just owning. And now they're using artillery, which is great because while, you know, they have this huge clumped up army, they're just going to start blowing at the Kingdom Come. And by the way, Pioneer squads cannot take, no matter how many you have, cannot take on shock troops. Although, as you can see, Ryan is definitely doing a great job at slowly pushing back and was able to at least take out the enemy in that area. However, they are counterattacking, and I really don't have that much to fight them with. I did another, I believe, retreat ability, which unfortunately I think caused another force to retreat. Luckily, my ally, who's again still has the island, BBV, is about firing with this half track, which will definitely do some damage. Now, something I didn't know, so when you retreat a Sturm officer, well, I'll show you. It retreats all your units in the local area. So that was great. I was trying to get this up and then activate the established retreat point, which would have definitely made it easier. And that's what I'll do for in the future. I also brought a howitzer because they're in so many buildings. I figured that would probably be best to start blowing them up and counterattacking. Now they also are bringing up the anti-tank rifles, which are great against the half tracks and any armor we possibly could have. On the island, they're doing a pretty good job. The enemy's putting up tank traps and pretty much barbed wire. That way it concentrates enemy into, I believe they put some mines maybe or something. And then also tank traps, which make sure the tanks can't come through. And over here, they just blocked it up, which I'm surprising they didn't put tank traps first and then this. But, you know. Or maybe just on the ice. That way it breaks. But anyway. They have a nice forward HQ right there. So that's pretty interesting. And they're healing and doing a pretty good job. Wish I could do a little bit more, though. Because he's just building up a large rifleman forces. Again, he has an MG right there. And they're pretty much just going to start attacking green, or BBV. Luckily, BBV is at least helping me out. Because I'm definitely taking some punishment. I have this T-34 right there, which luckily Ryan's ally was able to hit. Then what I do was tell this howitzer to start firing, because again, yes, it's not an AT weapon, but it'll still do something to it. It'll hurt it. Oh, that was a good hit. And then he brings up more Grenadiers, and then I'm gonna bring up some more AT forces. Which include my Volksgrenadiers, which now have a bazooka. It can now start firing upon that unit. And again, these things... Oh, nice flame barrage. But again, this thing is not great against close range, but it does do a heck of a lot of damage long range, which is why it's doing very well against all these units. This T-34 is making it slow and an inevitable retreat to Ryan's side. Unfortunately, hitting this the mortar area, and unfortunately, it's getting close to Ryan's searchlight. Luckily for me, I'm making a I'm making a Jagdpanzer. Wow, that was completely different. To pretty much take out the armor, because I realized I need some serious AT because I keep killing mine no matter how many times I get back. So if I can get that up and counter, that would be fantastic. I'm also sending in these guys to throw a grenade on these forces. If I can knock down the AT, that would be super helpful. Unfortunately, realized they didn't have enough, so I retreat. But the good news is, A, the building's protecting my unit, which is why you strategically place the half tracks. B, I have a howitzer, which is now like, okay, if this thing's firing artillery, I'll fire artillery back at you. And C, most importantly, he's attacking a place with multiple infantry constantly being healed. And then, oh, by the way, in this artillery game, my howitzer, or sorry, support gun, is going to do a lot more than that thing. And luckily, with the mortar help, I'm able to take it out. Now, Ryan, hold on. So anyway, the scout troops getting closer. We're trying to hold them back. Luckily, I have my Kerbal Wagon coming in, which will suppress them. Even though they have anti-tank rifles, still, you can get suppressed by it, and that will not help you out one bit. And I have these guys moving in to help heal, because this thing is getting pretty badly damaged. Now, luckily, I have my Jagdpanzer shooting that, and they'll send it around to help out with this incoming T-34. Because they're like, oh, we have T-34s, we're amazing, we can beat them. Luckily, this thing is like an Su-85, so in these long corridors where the T-34 can't really move that well, this thing owns. Oh, good rear hit as well. Also, this thing's front armor will at least deflect a lot of AT shots. Yeah, look at that. It's in a retreating phase now. I'm moving it up because I thought I could take it out, but unfortunately could not, so I'm at least hitting this building. That way I take it out. Now, I'm moving out my forces, again, try to counter. I have enough forces, I'm at least doing quite a bit. I also did this AT over here, which I'm like, I wonder if I could use that to my advantage. But, because I think they sent conscripts in to retake it, but unfortunately they died, so, you know, positive for me. Negative for them, or negative for me, sorry, is they now brought in a KV-1 tank, which is definitely not good. This thing has amazing armor, which I've said multiple times, and as you can see, it deflected my bazooka. I'm a rocket, a Panzerschreck. Luckily, I have this AT, which I just got, but again, I don't have that. I don't have a really strong AT weapon, and my other one, which I should say, is up north, protecting Ryan and Ryan and Naka's units, which again, he has some AT, which would have been great. Luckily, BBV is doing an excellent job at holding them, this hill, pretty much holding them back and making the riflemen fall back, which is excellent. Now I'm using my howitzer to pretty much hit this building, because again, that's one of their main points. They do have this T-70 tank running around, I believe, yeah. They have quite a few armor units around, including an AA gun and stuff. And they're using this long range. Luckily for me, if this thing even sticks around, my AT would take it out. Because So, I'm putting out a nice little campfire so everything stays warm. Luckily, is this Naka? Who is this? No, BBV, sorry. Is capturing these forces. He grabs some stuff, which is always good to do. Make sure you grab some materials, if you can. So anyway, after healing this, I'm going to run over and get that AT gun. I'm going to keep the Kerbal Wagon back because that's pretty much my only MG. And then hold this area until further notice. Because again, I can't really fight a T-34 and a KV-1, which I know is there because I never killed that T-34 from earlier. Oh, nice hit. But anyway, he's slowly bringing up his armor to counter on my end. If you look in the middle, they still have all their forces here. Double mortar, wow, okay. More T-34 stations. Oh, there's the T-34 that I hit earlier, being healed. And they have these two T-70s, like, ready to go. Luckily, Ryan has a bunch of forces, and I have my Jagdpanzer to pretty much say hello to them. Now, they have this armor moving up, which is not exactly good for me. Luckily, I do have an AT unit, but it's one AT. I want to clarify this. It's one damn AT. It's hurting him, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, one AT is definitely not going to hold back all of that armor if they do attack in force. Okay, is this when they started getting... Oh, yep. Yep. There it is. I knew they probably built it. The howitzer. This thing is deadly, and it will start killing your units, and you'll be like, what is going on? Well, anyway, so that guy started using it on BBV's units, and that's going to start taking out a lot of his forces. You can see where it hit. It hit right there. But, yeah. Unfortunately, they're moving up with a lot of armor, so I'm going to move, unfortunately, because Ryan has his own Jagdpanzer, I'm like, oh shoot, you know what, sorry Ryan, I have my own problems to deal with. If I lose the middle, we lose the entire good chunk of the map. So I lose my Brackenwerfer, and then I'm about to lose my howitzer. The positive thing is this thing is now flanking, so it's going to start hitting them from the side, and they're going to be like, wait, what's going on? Oh wait, a bunch of infantry. There goes another howitzer hit all over there. So I took out the AA gun. I have this thing, which is now firing at these units. And now I have a howitzer plus the Jagdpanzer firing at the T-34s. Plus more Panzer support. So he's like, I'm going to flank. Guess what? You're walking into an ambush. Oh, and then Ryan's Tiger's like, nope, you're not leaving. Or Jagdpanzer, sorry. Also, they left a ton of fuel and supplies. I'm like, oh boy, I can decommission all this. A nice airstrike, by the way. Really did stuff. Oh my god. Unfortunately, Ryan did lose his Ostwind, which is kind of sad. But the good news is they're actually doing a nice concentrated counterattack and pushing back through the middle. Unfortunately for BBV, the enemy is doing a concentrated, pretty much howitzer barrage, which is going to start pounding them. And this is something you don't do. If you notice your... Yeah, okay. That's example. If you notice you're under artillery, do not clump up units, because one good hit and you lose all your guys. Yeah. So of course they're pretty busy. They're preparing a nice little counterattack, and they have a nice AT gun over here in case, you know, we do attack, they can blow the ice and send us packing. Luckily, I think those are mines he placed down. So. I'm moving out my Stern Pioneers to take this guy out of the building once and for all. They also have this mortar half track and a bunch of tanks right here, which is kind of not good for us. Ooh, must have been an airstrike right here. Ryan's doing the smart thing. He's decommissioning all these units with his Jaeger light infantry recon squads, which gives him, again, fuel munitions. And with that, he's upgrading them with the long-range rifles, and it's just owning all the infantry. That's why he's slowly able to push back. And also, he's grabbing AT rifles and all the other stuff that they leave behind. Again, you have to know that when you upgrade your unit, be cautious that you can lose your unit. I also got my infantry support gun back so I can start firing upon the enemy. And I know it was risky, but I brought up my Panzer headquarters. That way I could at least suppress infantry if they come close. Because again, I don't have any major... excuse me. I don't have any major anti-infantry weapons, but... I do have a lot of AT weapons, which again, right now they're bringing up a lot of tanks. And with all the howitzers and stuff that hit the middle... Oh, that was a good mine hit on the KV-1. Pretty much we lost the middle. So there's that. But look at resources. We now have more munitions because we retook the middle area. However, as you can see, they still have more fuel. Barely, but they have more fuel. Most likely because we just captured this, and with that, we'll at least have more than them. So they are like, oh no, we have to counter. And by the way, we have not put any fuel points or anything, so just highlight that little fact. So as you can see, they're moving up a lot of armor. I can't really do that much. Oh, nice mortar hits. Did nothing, but that was really cool. Luckily, our pretty much the ally was able to bring in a Panther. Oh, and then they thought it would be a great idea to attack with a Sherman. Luckily, I have my Panzerschreck on wheels. I have my AT, my 76 field gun that I borrowed from the Soviets, and my Jagdpanzer all firing upon the enemy. Then I'm like, alright, I have 2 of these squads. I'm going to push up and counter. Because again, it's so much AT, even that KV-1's going to be like, oh no. Same thing with these forces. The Panther and everything firing long range is just enough to slowly push them back. Because again, this tank does, the KV-1 does not have a good gun. It's a 76mm gun. It's an okay gun. It's as good as the T-34. It just has it has a lot more armor. An airstrike on here to take out the Jagdpanzer. Oh, quite a lot of infantry. Oh my god. Those Jaeger light infantry are just demolishing that infantry. Oh, and I should probably mention, if you're wondering what happened, killed the KV-1. Thank you, Howitzer, for completely blowing up 2 of my squads. So then I'm like, okay, they have artillery. I need to do something about it. So at this point, I made this so I can get a Panther. And the reason I got a Panther was to go behind enemy lines and freaking destroy their artillery pieces. Because I was so sick and tired of the bombs coming in. Wow, that's a lot of explosions going on. I had mine like, okay, back up, back up, back up. Luckily, we're getting enough AT that their medium armor is just having very little effect and being slowly pushed back. Oh. And again, I'm doing a smart thing. I'm spreading out my units. That way it would literally be one hit at a time. Yeah, you can see. They can't really do that much. I was going to decommission this tank, but unfortunately it went down so much I'm going to retreat it and then do it. We look over here, they're again respawning the island. Luckily, the German player put so many mines that if they go on the ice, they are literally screwed. That they will literally just die and blow up. And he knows it. That's why he's trying to keep them off the ice. Myself, I, again, still put some mines. Wow, those mines are still there. They must have not tried to ram it. I also put mines in certain locations. That way, in case they did counterattack and maybe try to flank me, they would have some issues. Now, that's exactly what they're doing. They're sending all the riflemen, because they know they have the island, to try to attack our lines. They have shock troops with AT. Wow. Luckily, they have a Panther moving in. I'm also going to send in quite a few other units to help support. As you can see here, they're sending a large conscript squad to attack pretty much Ryan's newly held position. Oh, did Ryan put explosives right there? This cheeky devil. But anyway, as you can see here, they call an artillery barrage because they want to kill my half-track. And also, they're moving in a bunch of riflemen. They pretty much take that out. Luckily, I'm moving up guys to heal it. I'm also moving up more forces to counter along with my Panther. And of course, I have my Stern Pioneer, which is going to make them retreat, at least one unit, which is going to decrease the amount of effective fire they can do. And with my thing now, focus fire on the infantry, they have no chance. Although they did just fire an artillery barrage at me, and that missed, fortunately. But again, it's still incredibly annoying. But anyway, so Ryan won me the title of this Jaeger Light. I'm sorry, what is it? What are these things called again? Jaeger Light Infantry Recon Squad's own, because literally he just made them, and they were just like the absolute worst thing the enemy could possibly deal with, because they would literally tear apart enemy infantry, and the enemy infantry couldn't do anything to really counter. Unfortunately, they're attacking me, and I need to push this thing back. Luckily, there's some Panzer strikes being fired out of the building, which will flank this. At this point, I'm like, I'm done. I'm tired of this artillery, so I sent my Panther in to go deal with it. And also telling my Panzer to deal with this. So my Panther's like having trouble on the bridge, of course. I'm healing my where is it? There it is. I'm healing that, pushing up my forces again, trying to retake this area. Luckily, my mines at least did some damage. By moving this in, I noticed 2 priests. And I'm like, dear Lord, I found the jackpot. I didn't find this, nor did I guess see it. But my Panther was like, okay, kill the priest. That's the main issue, that's my main concern, that's my problem. Wow. Did nothing, okay. Maybe hit this. But I'm like, alright, kill it. Alright, that's one squad down. Hit the other one. Another one down, another one bites the dust. I'm like, okay, leave. You've done enough. And now they have all their AT forces focusing on it. But at least I was able to kill his 2 priests. So pretty much the enemy was just like, god dang it. Also, as you can see, Wacko pretty much doesn't have... Alright, so if we look over, Engo doesn't have much. Wacko has KV-1s. But I mean, versing Panthers and a Tiger, which thank you Naka for bringing out, you're not going to do all that much. And then I'm moving up my forces to help cover the point. Hitwoman has a lot of these units. Again, AT, which can actually pin infantry. Or not pin infantry, but, sorry, pin, or button troops. Wait, can they button troops? These are, guards rifle infantry. What are these? Oh, anti-infantry. And includes vehicle button. I don't know why he retreated them all there. That's interesting. And CHN, which currently has the priest. He still has priests. But luckily, Ryan's at least doing some... BVR is doing scouting, which is allowing me to see it. So I'll be calling in something very shortly. Because I have a lot of munitions to use. And still have a lot of hatred for the constant artillery barrages that hit my forces. Because I did lose my Jagdpanzer, unfortunately, to the Su-85. So at this point, I'm like, okay, let's start building stuff. Put my half-track down, I'll send that back. Luckily, Naka is sending in his Tiger to finally deal with this thing, which has 41 kills, by the way. Has killed 4 vehicles. And now he's trying to do the smart thing by blowing the bridge, which would kill the Tiger. Actually, let me... Waku. Luckily, I was able to kill it. But the bridge broke, and that killed the Tiger. So yeah, he lost the howitzer, but there was enough artillery that they literally blew the bridge. Okay, this is what you do as the Soviets. If the enemy ever comes over a bridge or like an area, you can... Oh wow, that sucks for him. Put explosives and then detonate it. That's what I recommend. That way, you detonate it when you want to. You set charges. I believe they only go off when you activate them. Oh, there's my dead Jagdpanzer. Fortunately, Waku's setting up his KV-1s and another attack force. But yeah, he's probably pretty mad that he lost his forces. There's me. I'm moving out my forces, healing what I can, moving every... Well, where are my Stern Pioneers? Yeah, they're setting up mines in these locations, that way in case, you know, they fail. Because I was like, oh, I'll take this area over with my Albasodaten. Yeah, that didn't work out so well when they sent literally 4 squads of Guards Rifle Infantry. So I'm like, okay, time to fall back. Hey, Green, you can deal with that, right? 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 So anyway, now it's pretty much even with fuel. We could probably start putting fuel caches, but unfortunately our allies are not doing that, which could probably help us out in the long run. Luckily, we have more munitions, which is very nice. I did do that artillery barrage. It knocked out at least our fuel cap. I don't know if it killed any units, but at least it did quite a bit of damage in that general vicinity. They are preparing a large tank force. Oh, look at the dead Tiger. That sucks. As you can see here, they are preparing a large tank force to counter. And they're like, okay, we'll just... They're being smart. They're building up forces to counter and take them back. Fortunately, Ryan has a Jagdpanzer, which is definitely going to say hello to the KV-1. They're doing Katyushka fire over in my area, which is not helping. It's definitely hurting a lot of the infantry in this base area. Luckily, we have a Panther that's still doing some damage. And, oh yeah, my mines still do a lot. Still do quite a lot to enemy infantry. Unfortunately, so do their grenades. So at this point, I'm like, alright, I have a Panther. I'll push up with that. And time to maybe also put down this half-track. So eventually I'll be putting that down. But anyway, they have this Sherman that comes up. I'm like, you want Panther? Eat the Sherman. Because people are like, oh, Shermans are good units. Yeah, they can be. Against a Panther, though, you probably want to run away. Then I'm like, oh, wow, really? Going on the ice? And then I realized the Su-85. I'm like, okay, take a pop shot. Can you kill it? Can you kill the Sherman? Nope. Okay, then fall back. Unfortunately, that priest is still hitting us with artillery. Which is really annoying. But, like I said, they're building up a large tank force to counter and push us back. Actually, if we look at points-wise, So far, I've been doing pretty good. I got 36,000 points. That's probably for killing all the vehicles, my Jagdpanzer and whatnot. Haven't got a lot of kills, though. So my guess was the Priest also that helped. And maybe the Artillery Assault Barrage did more than I thought. But yeah, right now, BBV has actually brought up a lot of Panthers. He's really forgot about the island, and I don't really mind because again, we have a good defensive line here, and also we kind of want to focus and make sure everything up here is okay. Also, our point became to try to blow up the bridge because then we can focus on this area and this area because this one's blown. So literally, it will just be one giant bottleneck for them to come through, and then this area because again they can't come this way because I blocked it up with some very nice pretty much a layer. I mean, they can always come through this way, but again that's within our territory, and I have placed some mines in some locations as you also my allies have, so pretty much they would lose quite a bit if they were to attack us. And we are constantly barraging the island, so they don't want to keep troops there for too long. Now they are doing a massive assault right now, and they thought it would be great to do it in the winter. Luckily, our ally has 2 Panthers. They are also, for some reason, sending up a Priest. Maybe for a closer artillery barrage, maybe for an AT barrage, I don't know. But now they're also sending in pretty much everything. A giant artillery, tanks, you name it, they're all hitting those Panthers. But T-34s are good tanks. They're not exactly the best at fighting Panthers. They don't have the guns to. Luckily, I have my Panther sniping from up here, which is definitely doing a lot because what it's doing is just firing long range and taking out all these T-34s from behind. And yeah, they have a KV-1 there, but I'm just ignoring it. Because there's another thing right here, thanks to GTA, that literally just blew it to Kingdom Come. And as you see there, they lost quite a lot of their units. And now I believe if we have a Panzerwerfer... Well, Ryan has a Stuka, which needs heal. I'll send my forces to go heal that. Do you have a Panzerwerfer somewhere? Naka has a bunch of wow, he has a ton of AT, which is why they're probably focusing on infantry. What the? Why does he have him here? Okay, maybe he's trying to keep warm. I don't know. Anyway, there's that goddamn. Oh wow, they built another howitzer. Okay, that's fantastic. I didn't even know about that. Luckily, Ryan's Jagdpanzer is just firing at will. Again, light recon, you can see farther. So you can see. Oh, the artillery did not help though. How about BBV? Oh yeah, there's the Panzerwerfer. Some good hits by Ryan's Jagdpanzer. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like the zoom scope, so you can't really see that far with it. Luckily, I put down another half track. I set that down in this middle area. That way, it can, a good place for all the vehicles to heal. I also am saying this thing in to heal this, and then I'll send it up north to go heal Ryan's Stuka, which definitely needs some help. I put up AT forces and an MG right here, along with Oversedaten to fire if in case need be. I'm also sending that along with AT to help move in and counter. They're mining up here, which I get, but you're also mining an area which is very unstable, so one explosion and, well, your tank goes through the... Luckily, all of my forces are combined are doing quite a lot to the enemy. All that artillery, wow. Oh my lord. Yeah, luckily they were kind enough to keep using the howitzer barrage from... I'm sorry, the howitzer... which definitely got a couple points off my infantry. But like I've said multiple times, artillery is great when you're winning, because it literally was destroying our units left and right. Oh wow. There goes the Panther. That's what the ice does. And there have been games where I have made artillery to pretty much bust up. The problem is that doesn't help you in the long run, because sure, you can kill tanks and whatnot around the place, and sure, you can mine up this entire area, and then you're like, oh, what I'll do is I'll mine up the area, and then when the tanks come through, they'll come through. Yeah, that's fantastic. But you're never going to have the most concentrated force to counter. What they should have done, which would probably have been interesting, is done okay, first off, this bridge is so close to dying, they can't really come through there. You have all this area that you can just come up and literally wreck house. You could flank us and then move up and take this thing out, which is very close to dying, by the way. Yeah. Which I wonder if they knew and was just like, well, we'll keep firing there. Oh, and then they took out Ryan's Juka with an artillery barrage, but Ryan was able to fire a few pop shots at him, so that was always a positive thing. And with that, all that artillery, they took out my half-track. So I'm losing quite a bit. The American is also sending a lot of riflemen up north, which is not helpful. I'm trying to send up whatever infantry I can to try to close these pockets and to also counter against these shock troops. They're moving up more armor through the middle. However, as you can see, they can't really come through because they're blocked. So that's a negative for them. Or at least it's harder for them to come through. Oh, and then they just surrendered. Like, I don't know why they surrendered. They just did. They must have been like, we can't win this fight. But literally, they had us on the ropes. I mean, if you look, they still had a really good fighting force. And they had a lot of units preparing to fire and cross. I mean, don't get me wrong. Was it likely that they could have succeeded? No. But was it likely that they probably could have knocked out this point? Probably high. I mean, they weren't necessarily like, oh, we're definitely going to lose. They could have came back. They still have a point. They're not losing that much. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the, what is it called? The, where's Ryan's? Okay, the Scavenger Doctrine, because again, Ryan informed me with that. Again, Soviets like to leave a lot of their stuff around and then grab the German stuff, but the Germans can just decommission all this and then use it to fuel, and then they can get their heavier armor. So that's just a heads up. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Oh, and now they have a Yak Tiger, which people are like, oh, this thing's amazing. Again, just a note that that thing is a big anti-tank gun, similar to an elephant, which is great for killing stuff like that, but it's not the best at, oh, how do I say this, killing infantry, although it will do a lot over time. It still does a lot. Now, as you can see here, the IS-2s are charging along with the ISU-152, hoping, and I'll get rid of the fog of war so you can see what's going on. But the long range of the Yak Tiger is doing a lot more damage.